Welcome, everybody, once again to Deep Web3 Secrets. I have today my friend A. Brockman, AJ, back again for another episode, Human to Human, and we're talking about gaming. AJ, how have you been since we last talked?
Hey, Eco, doing great, brother, man. I always love being on the show, and we can turn this into more of a regular gig. But the overall markets are looking great. Obviously, we've been really happy to see that. I think we're finally entering, the beginning of the real bull run. We did have a little bit of a snafu about a month ago now. We had a pretty substantial hack on our vault, DEX5 vault. So that definitely threw a wrench in the gears. I was a little depressed, but we were able to salvage, what we could. We have a recovery program in place, and we could do a whole episode on this alone. But we're rolling out our treasury bonds, and we have a whole audit underway as well with some really substantial forensics on hopefully even trying to find the hackers. Some of you know the on-chain analysis goes down a big rabbit hole. So we'll have an update on that as well. And yeah, but the vaults are actually back up and running now. We implemented a ton of fixes in terms of multi-sig and time locking. It wasn't actually an exploit, so to speak, in the code. The code was very solid. Unfortunately, it was then a hack through the actual web server. So we've rebooted all that, and we already have over 1 million TVL back in the vault in just about a week. So things are good. Um, Obviously, we,
Whoa!
we never give up. We roll with the punches, but we're getting there, man.
I
So
want to get you back on just for an episode about that whole situation. I've been keeping an eye on you. And, one of the things about these new technologies is it gives us a lot of options. I mean, to tokenize the hack, obviously, somebody ran away with the money, and I do hope they get caught. I really hate scammers and thieves. Like, it
for
just
sure.
bothers me. But, like, to tokenize the debt and kind of use it as an opportunity to use new technology and to benefit the community and even maybe create some volume. It's just such a great opportunity, a great world that we live in, to always be able to bounce back. I mean, I think if you didn't have this technology, you basically everybody would just be out of luck. But here's an opportunity for the whole community to come together, and if some people want to pull out quick. If some people want, maybe it could even invest in a underpriced bond, right? Because it's backed by the actual protocol. It's so interesting, and I think there's
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Go ahead. I mean, but I think your forensics is
Yeah.
going to find that this was not any ordinary hack, right? I mean, this is some up there with some of the Lazarus group and other things like that, right?
For sure, man. Yeah, like I said, the rabbit hole goes deep. We purposely been a little bit vague on what we know. But yeah, I mean, obviously, publicly, there is a lot more behind the scenes that we have found. And yeah, to your point, I love what you said about tokenizing the debt, and that's really what it is. I mean, um, everybody that was affected in the vault will get what we call an escrow token. And then, depending on what the protocol makes in terms of fees and these new bonds that we're rolling out, not only are you able to invest to get a split of that, but it's also a percentage goes to the recovery effort. So it's a really great way to help the protocol, but also profit yourself. I mean, we've been hitting roughly 10% a month, and so half of that would be about 5%. And 5% to the recovery. So, again, it just depends on what the vaults earn. Like you said, it is variable, but it's all real yield from liquidity providing. And yeah, like I said, we could do a whole hour video on that alone. So we'll have to do that for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll let you finish up that analysis, but today we're coming together. We want to talk about games. Now, the first thing I want to mention is we just finished very successful Conclave Arcana pre-sale for Splinterlands, and now you're an OG Splinterlands. So you've been in the NFT gaming space for a long time. How did you get involved with that originally?
Yeah, so it's a crazy story, man. You know how much I love, Steam and now Hive. But my first intro to crypto was Steam. Believe it or not, I somehow stumbled across Jerry Banfield videos, and he really got me to understand, the power of SocialFi, what the original Steam was doing. Now what we have with Hive. And all along that, obviously, meeting some friends along the way. One of and he's actually, it's funny, everything goes full circle. He's also an extension of the team for Universe Madness, which we'll talk about. But Crypto Eater, a longtime friend of mine, he sold me my first gold foil pack back in 2018 for about 10,000 bucks. And now I think at the peak it was worth over 1 million in assets. So yeah, we've been real big fans of Splinterlands. I've always been a gamer myself, and it was just a perfect fit. Merging blockchain and gaming, and Splinterlands is the OG to do that. So we took a lot of inspiration from them. Our game is also a trading card game, which again, very similar genre. We have a few different approaches that we have, but again, I think once people realize what we're building, um, I think we're gonna get a lot of excitement around it. We're just now really rolling
Yeah,
out.
well,
So
that's why I got you here, man. Because okay, so you participated in Splinterlands. You're an OG in the OG NFT space. Now, there's been, I mean, game. What does game mean? I mean, there's been some attempts at gaming. I mean, I think of like Axie. I couldn't even start Axie. It's just there was no fun to it for me. But I've played other games, and I like certain type of games, strategy, and usually PvP. I kind of like to compete against other people. But okay, so Splinterlands is a great example. It's been around for so long. It's experienced the ups and the downs, and those people who've been paying attention probably have learned some lessons along the way. So now you saw an opportunity. You've been kind of putting the pieces together to do hopefully something as exciting or more exciting than Splinterlands. A little bit different though, especially in the way you tackled gameplay. But how did you go from like I own some NFTs to like now I want to be part of a team that makes an NFT game?
yeah, absolutely, So, it's a lot of different factors. Number one, again, just the unwavering passion for gaming. I mean, again, all of us, I think, as gamers, we dream of having our own game at some point. There's a lot of things that have to go right for that to happen, but we made some incredible connections along the way to make that happen. So, as a lot of you know, I'm also heavily involved in DeFi and have a lot of coding connections and coding background, but we didn't want to just create another play to earn game where developers are reverse engineering you know gameplay, and like you said, it isn't any fun. So we wanted to really start from the ground up and design a fun game first and foremost. And my co-founder Julius, he is an amazing guy that's also been one of the original supporters of my original protocol, EMP. So he is a talented designer himself, and we clicked right away. Just being both artistic and he reached out about creating some promo for us. He did the original detonator video, for those that know, which was pretty spectacular. And so one thing led to another, and he said, "Hey, I'm living in Thailand now, and I have a really great connection with a gaming studio right here in my neighborhood. Um, and I want to show you this game I've been developing in the background over the last 2 years." And when he pitched it to me, I knew I had to be involved. So the whole brainchild of the game is our founder Julius. But obviously, I bring a lot more of the real world NFT knowledge and how gameplay actually works. Obviously, solid economics, and brand development, business development. So that's kind of our both of our wheelhouses. But he is the actual creative director working along the team every day. So it's really cool to see that happen in real time.
Yeah, now as I started looking into this, just because you were getting involved, one of the things, it was very art and creative heavy from the beginning, right? So, and
For
it was
sure.
always, and I want to ask, was this intentional, or is it because of kind of his skill set? But it was always towards the 3D. So many games are stepped down, whether it's to be a browser game or whether they're stepped down into 2D or 2.5D. But this is always a 3D experience. And so maybe you could just talk just from conceptually. Was that a specific choice? And how do you think that is going to affect, as you roll out? Does this 3D immersive experience give you any specific advantages, do you think, looking across the spectrum of the current games that are out there now?
Absolutely, brother. So I love this question, and again, it's a multitude of things. So number one, we wanted to set ourselves apart. So like you said, typically even in Web3, um, because there's not a lot of builders in Web3 at the moment. A lot of the games are either off the shelf or reverse engineered, like I mentioned earlier, by actual crypto developers. And we wanted to build something truly unique and truly immersive. So yeah, I mean, our art direction is very different than what you see in typical Web3. And honestly, we are really targeting Web 2, which makes it really cool because the real narrative, and again, I think Splinterland's got it right, and it's getting better and better about this, is that, play to earn becomes a game. Becomes a job. It's not really a game, and it's very unsustainable. And so the new direction is play to own. And Web3 really thrives on being able to own your assets, whether you want to leave the game eventually or grind your way up and potentially sell some of the more rare NFTs. That is really where Web3 shines. But we will be having the ability to play the game without even needing to know about Web3, and that is really bullish because that revenue supports the development and the token itself without having to sell assets and tokens to pay for development. So that alone is a really big mental and economical shift in the way that we build. And in terms of the actual gameplay and animation, yeah, I think it was the stars aligned a little bit because obviously we always had a really strong art direction, but having a AAA studio in Thailand that has worked on, feature films, the Dumbo animated real life Dumbo, Netflix specials. They've done stuff for Pepsi. They've done stuff for Pirates of the Caribbean. Many, many big titles. And so they had the ability to do a game in a fully 3D immersive environment. And so we wanted to really take advantage of that. And you'll see, I mean, we have a lot of footage to show already that really is something that would be reminiscent of a AAA release once we're finally finished.
Okay, amazing. Now, I shared your YouTube channel, but are you telling me that you're actually working with a real studio? So this is a big deal studio. Now, um, who's paying for this? I mean, did you guys? How deep are you in this process already? There must be some budget? What's going on? A AAA studio? I've never heard of such a thing for a crypto game. They're all maybe in your basement, couple of guys in different basements. But uh,
For sure.
tell me more about like how you got. I mean, it sounds like Julius already knew this studio, but was he already working and investing some of his own money when you got involved, or how did this all kind of come about? Like, how did a team get put together?
Yeah, so we have been working with the studio since October of last year. We actually had a pre-production phase that really got all the art direction, all the framework of what we want to build. And Julius and I both bootstrapped that uh, upfront payment to the studio to make that happen. Now, in October of last year, we did do a pre-sale. So with my connections and my community, we did do a pre-sale. Again, hindsight's always 2020. When you release a token so early, it really is hard for people to have the long-term commitment and hold. So obviously, token price has been affected because of that. But the same thing happened with SPS and many gaming tokens, pre-release or during, a potential bear market. But we raised $700,000 from the original pre-sale. People got token allocation and card packs. So we did some special tiers at different levels, and you would get rare cards that will never be available again. And so with that, we were able again to raise 700K, and we're about 500K in right now. So we have most of the development paid for. We have another few months of development for our retail code pack sale, and then the game will be in a playable alpha. Hopefully by the end of the year. It's one of the only projects I've ever been a part of where we are actually ahead of schedule, working with a team that is as talented as these guys are. So we're hoping for a playable alpha at the end of this year, and then a full release early next year. And again, we have other partners as well. We are part of a company called Rocket Ride. They're a consulting firm that has brought us under their wing, and they're responsible for the game Risk of Rain, a lot of other really top titles on Steam, and they are showing major interest in the game from the Web 2 side as well. So again, we're gonna have a multi-pronged approach when the game actually releases for distribution, and then if you want to take the extra step to own your assets, then you can come over to the Web 3 side. So
Okay. So much good stuff to talk to. I just want to let me make sure. Because, okay, so first of all, you say $700,000. I think, wow, that's a lot of money. But then, don't AAA games cost millions and millions of dollars to build? Wait a second. That's actually,
yeah.
that's a reasonable budget, but really, it sounds like you guys have been smartly investing that over the development period, right? You must be
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's less than $1 million, and you still have quite a bit of it left, maybe 30%. It sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, you're 100% right. That's one of the reasons we didn't go to a AAA studio, in America or maybe a more mainstream studio. These guys are just as talented, and the cost of living and doing business is a lot less. So that was also part of the plan. And you're right. I mean, you know, ultimately the full release of the game, could be 2 million, 3 million. And up, but we are rolling it out in very strategic way where we have a playable alpha, we start to monetize the game, and now we're able to pay for future development and full release and scale up with demand because what happens is a lot of games will just commit to, a $2 million budget, they release it, and then nobody plays the game, and they don't have any way of monetizing to pay for, any future development. So we're doing it in a very conservative way, and this is cool because we also are community owned. We haven't gone to any VCs or anything like that. That again would say, hey, we run our money out, or we're taking a large part of the supply of the token, which can really hurt a project down the road. So it's a really grassroots effort, and we have a very healthy treasury to continue to develop and eventually, like I said, uh, have the budget to go even bigger. So
Okay, amazing. Now we're getting into some good, gritty money stuff that I love, and we'll get to the videos and we'll get to some of the visuals here in a little bit. But I love what you're talking about. Okay, so first of all, Web 2 monetization. People play for games, they play to have fun. So if the game is fun, you got some Web 2 monetization. And what are the costs associated with gaming? Well, there is development, of course, but also when you got people playing, there's like server costs. So I wonder if you could dig in a little bit on this plan to scale up. I think I've been involved with a team that made this mistake. They had a whole bunch of servers before they had any players, so they had kind of these fixed costs, which really should have been variable costs. So maybe you want to tell us a little bit about that. Seems like a really smart plan to kind of start small and scale with the player base. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, that's something we've learned being in the space. That is unfortunately not a rarity where people buy all these really expensive servers. They have $100,000 a month, server bill, and they don't have the player base to support that. So, yeah, and that was you've heard me say playable alpha. That is part of the process. So, by the end of the year, we have again a playable alpha, also referred to as a vertical slice, and we will actually be able to have key influencers, streamers, anybody that participated in the pre-sale and got a early access key, which will also be an NFT you can trade. So if you didn't get that, you may be able to buy one on the secondary market. But all of those players will be able to play early in the playable alpha and really help show the game that we have. Then again, when we have the full release in early next year, it's still, again, when I say full release, we still only have two hero characters. We'll have one full card set. So it is a full release, but it's not the full blown uh you know six hero characters and hundreds of cards at that point, which we will have hopefully as this grows. But we're doing it in a way again that um, we don't really need big servers in the beginning because a lot of people can play in the alpha release, and we'll also support peer-to-peer like old school LAN parties where you'll be able to just connect to your friends or other players and do it that way as well. So we have some really cool and creative ideas that will reduce server costs and still allow people to play until we get the momentum that we need to scale up. And we're also utilizing some AI technology. We've been really upfront about this. I know, it's kind of a hot topic. Even some of the artwork, the actual animations and, in-game rigging, that's all done, through the AAA studio. But we've definitely relied on some AI for some of our promo videos, some of our inspiration for card designs, some of our, art direction. But we are also utilizing AI in matchmaking. So we'll actually be able to have AI that will play as a human opponent. So again, this is really cool because you don't have to rely on nobody else around to play, waiting 30 minutes for the queue. You're actually able to play against a bot that is a lot more like a human in terms of the actual experience. So we have some really cool things we're working on.
I love it. It sounds like you guys are getting creative in all aspects, which we could probably talk all day. But let me jump over here. You shared a pitch deck with me. I'm on page 3 here, and the three pillars of successful games. I got visual innovation, gameplay innovation, and economic model. Which of these three do you want to start with first? Let's break these down because it said these are the three pillars of successful games, which I think I probably agree with. But do you want to pick one of these to talk about first?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love it. I'll follow along here. So, we're on number three, right? So, yeah, again, I mean, all of these are important, but I think, at its core, and what we've already kind of went over, um, is the gameplay itself. So, we're not building another grind game that you just grind and it becomes a job. that isn't fun anymore. So, you know, that is a big, big part of it. And we're also blending genres. So this is really cool. We're able to have a traditional trading card game where, again, your hero character plays these cards on a a 3D environment. That's another cool thing. We're not playing on top of a tabletop. You're actually casting cards in a 3D, fully 3D world. So the cards kind of float as tokens in the middle of the battlefield and can attack each other. So this is again super different, and we feel will be a really big deal with streamers because trading card games are great, and there's a lot of diehard streamers, but they can get a bit boring to watch because you know, uh, after a while it's the same thing over and over again. Well, with our gameplay, you're actually seeing this in a much more 3D world, and it's visually more entertaining and more immersive than your typical tabletop trading card game. So that's big. And then we're also including a PvP, um, third-person PvP mode. It's called the Deadly Duel. So there will be certain cards that you play or certain events that trigger this deadly duel mechanism. And then you will actually fight your opponent hero to hero without the cards, with magic. So we're utilizing a rock, paper, scissors mechanic where, depending on what you roll or choose, depending on what your opponent chooses, you will win that mini battle, and then that is how you are able to actually end up fully killing your opponent in the end. And so, on top of that, we also have some different, taunts and emotes, and even some finishing moves. So remember from Mortal Kombat or some of the other games now, we'll have special
Finish him.
finishing moves for exactly, brother. So all of that is really a big deal in both the visual innovations and the gameplay as well. And then finally, again, the economic model. Um, we're actually hoping to release this game as a free-to-play game, which is again pretty crazy because although we want to monetize the game, we don't want to do it in a way that seems predatory. So a lot of our monetization will come from uh, in-game items or different emotes, like I said, different finishing moves, different outfits, cosmetics, and allows players that want to grind to have a pretty good experience in the game, and not jeopardize the overall economic model as well. And again, if you want NFTs, you want to own your assets, obviously you have to pay to do that. So we're trying to target both worlds.
Okay, super interesting. And you just went through all three of them. Okay, so let me back up to the gameplay because I think actually these
Okay,
probably all
perfect.
go hand in hand. The way you described it. Let's see if I've understood it right. So, first of all, it is a card game, but you're going to take the visual innovation of a 3D world. So you've gotten a lot more 3D third dimension on top of what maybe is just playing cards. But then, in addition to that third dimension, we're going to be breaking out of the card game into some sort of mini game battler, which is either to finish the game or to make something happen, right? So I've got that right. I see in
Yep.
this gameplay innovation, they're going head to head. Okay, so now it doesn't matter how well or badly I played the card game. Now there's some luck or skill or lucky skills to win these important mini games, right?
Yeah, bro. Again, you again, this is something, we see in other games. You have to really rely on the RNG or the luck. And sometimes it's really frustrating when you play a flawless game and then you just get absolutely hammered because of bad RNG, where your opponent pulls some legendaries and now you're screwed. So our approach is much more skill based. And by having two different gameplay styles in one. Some people may be really, really good at the trading card game part, And some people may be really bad at that, and then some people may be really good at the deadly duel mechanism, but some people may be bad at that. So it really evens the playing field, and gives a whole new approach to gameplay, and making things as fair as possible, but rewarding those that are a lot more skill based, but not making it where you don't have a chance, because that's the other thing. I mean, obviously, we love games that reward very skilled players, but some a casual player gets very discouraged when the pros are just marking everybody. So this again will hopefully be able to even out the playing field, where even a casual player could potentially beat a seasoned player, just because they're really good at one part of it or another.
Well, wow, that sounds so unique. And isn't that like life? I mean, there's different aspects. You can't always count on one skill bringing you all the way through. And then to go to the economic model, it sounds to me like you said emotes and some of these visuals. That sounds kind of like Fortnite, right? So this is a Web 2 based thing, right? It's not pay to win. It's more like, if you're having a lot of fun and you want to express yourself in the game, feel free to put some money in. And it sounds like the people that are having a lot of fun are the ones that are going to end up owning their assets on like a blockchain. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we are looking at current trends, and yeah, the cosmetic market is more profitable than typically buying titles outright. So yes, there will be a heavy emphasis on skins, emotes, again, eventually pets, different abilities, but not pay to win. Again, that has been another thing that really is a turnoff to players. Not only are there some predatory implementations of that. But then, it's not fun anymore, because whoever has the biggest wallet has the biggest advantage. So, we're definitely aware of all of that. And yeah, the whole idea is that you'll be able to play the game Web 2, download, we are also building to be mobile friendly eventually. Obviously, with all the heavy visuals, it may burn up your phone, so we have to wait for that technology to catch up a little bit. But we're building now with mobile in mind in the future. But having a full PC release, and being able to run things in high fidelity, and have a really cool experience, is all there. And then if you choose to own your assets, um, again, maybe you want to actually have a golden wand, or be able to have an emote of pouring magic onto your opponent when you kill them. I mean, there's so many different things. That's when you would go to the Web3 end, and actually buy those NFTs off the market. And so we're doing it in a very similar way that Splinterlands has done this, where you actually buy your NFTs and stake them into a smart contract, and then it detects your wallet, and whether you have that NFT staked, and then it will appear in the game. So very almost identical to the way Rooney works
Yeah.
in Splinterlands. Exactly. Yep.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I absolutely love hearing about best practices and the things that have been learned. And I think the way you've thought about monetizing is very clever. I'm going to go on to the next slide. I don't know what to expect here. Let's see. Okay, we got visual innovation. I'm going to skip ahead here. I think if I just click. Okay, what am I looking at here now? We see the other TCGs flat. Oh, yes, boring. I see it already. Okay,
Yeah.
and you're
Totally.
comparing a
Yeah.
whole
So
bunch of
this.
them. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, where, we feel like it's going to be a big advantage with streamers and the real, immersion of the game, where, as you can see on the left, all the big ones, Hearthstone, Gwent, Gods Unchained, all of those, yes, the cards themselves may be animated, and all of them usually do an amazing job with that, but you're still playing on a flat tabletop, type setting. And even if you have hero characters, they're not really represented as actual 3D players. So we're merging that. Again, as you can see in the town square on the right, all the cards are in a three-dimensional space. You are able to still, fight cards in a very familiar way. Again, taunt, first strike, everything you're used to in TCGs, but again in this 3D world. And the camera itself moves up and down. Again, you can see when it's your turn, the camera has a much higher angle, and then when it's your opponent's turn, it's a little lower angle. So it also is a visual cue of whose turn it is, and really again making that whole story of the battle come together.
Interesting. Okay, so we've been rambling. Wow. Okay, let me skip ahead here, but fantastic. I already love just the fact that I can like customize my guy that's standing. I feel like I'm part of the action.
Totally.
Let me. We could probably do 2 hours on this. Okay, and so we've got
I know, brother. We're going a while here already. Yeah.
we've got okay, so we've got visual. I'm gonna see if I can work us through here a little bit. We got the card effects, which we're seeing now. Oh man. Okay, so so you're actually the camera is moving, and I'm seeing fireworks
Yeah.
are going
So
up, and I'm looking. Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, again, man, I know we had to move through this, but every slide is so important. So, yeah, this is again what I was saying in terms of really telling the story. What this clip is our pyromancer. He is a legendary card that actually uh, puts fireworks in your hand and broken fireworks in your opponent's hand. But as you can see, when that legendary card is played, it brings it to a whole nother level. And every legendary card will have a very, very unique and immersive animation that goes along with it. We'll have a bunch of examples of those a little bit later on in the presentation. But as you can see, I mean, who doesn't want to play a legendary card where it's almost a mini cutscene, of the power it has every time you play it. So yeah, and that's something that can only be done, in a fully 3D environment.
Oh wow! And I skipped ahead. Okay, so I've watched this hand coming out of the lake. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now we're going to 8. Oh my gosh. Okay,
All
so
right.
let's jump ahead here to the gameplay innovation. Okay, and this is the deadly duel. Okay, so what are we going to see here? Now, some of these videos I see, this is work in progress. You're working on this stuff. So, how is this going? You said you were
For
using
sure.
some AI maybe for some of the models or inspiration, which I think is the right way to use AI, the starting point. But of course, all of this rigging and stuff, like this has to be done by professionals, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we any of the three of the flat elements or inspiration, anything that we needed to get different art direction on, that's really where AI came in. But in terms of building the game out, as you can see, this is a prototype footage right here. I mean, all this is your typical Unreal Engine development that requires rigging and poly models and whole 9 yards. So yeah, I mean, we definitely don't cut any corners with that. And this is an example of the deadly duel mechanism, where again, depending on what you pick, attack, strike, or feign, you can, and what your opponent picks, if you win multiple duels in a row, then your attack gets more and more powerful. And so, as you can see here with the big finishing move at the end, and once you actually kill your opponent, there'll be even another phase in the animation. So this is the difference. And as you see, the cards that were in the middle will just move away, and then you enter this mode. So it's seamless. Like there is no other cutscene or loading screen or anything like that. It's just the cards move away, you battle. If you win, then you go back into the other mode, or if you kill your opponent, then the game is over. So
Okay, I have now clicked ahead. We're in third person action mode. My eye is immediately drawn to turning the game around. So the losing player wins in the duel, they'll get a second chance. I mean, is this fair? Are people going to be mad at you for this? What's going on here, man? This is
yeah, totally.
incredible.
So yeah, so again, I mean, all of this is dynamic. So, there will be instances where, you don't actually kill your opponent, and then you can go back and battle again and then hope to trigger the duel at the end. So, and you will be able to kill your opponent outright just with a card. So again, it isn't one thing or another. It really just depends on the overall gameplay and how it all happens in real time. So yeah, I mean maybe some people want a second chance, and again it will all be revealed based on how the tempo of the game is being played. So and that is where the RNG comes in too. So it may not happen every time, but you may get lucky on being able to counter or have a second chance before you actually get killed. So
Okay, fantastic. Now, so I think I understand there's some life mechanism like you can't just be totally turn the game around, but obviously you're going to be bypassing the cards on the table in a certain way. And I also noticed
yeah,
at the
so
bottom,
yeah,
this creates additional motivation to express yourself through your character design.
totally. Yeah, no doubt. Well, I know, and that's one of the most fun things about any game is being able to actually build the character that you want. So and again, unfortunately, that wasn't an option in Splinterlands. But a lot of games have done that where you are able to actually customize your hero character, and that alone can be a really fun process in and of itself. So yeah, depending on who you choose. Again, we didn't really get into the lore, but there's a huge lore associated with this. All the canon is really, really cool. You have the Wizarding Society, which is the good guys, so to speak, and you have the Shadow Realm, which is the anti-hero, the bad guys. So the character you're seeing right here is pirate Edric von Drake, and so he again, you could have a different cape for him. You have different wands, different hats. All the characters will be customizable. And the other character that we haven't revealed yet is the Inquisitor. And they'll have almost give away a little alpha there. They will have a really cool separate wardrobe as well. So again, it's a way to kind of build out your items for whatever mood you're in that day, and you can equip that to the characters.
Okay, and I have to just ask, I see easy controls, so I notice this is very interesting. You did not focus on like some first person shooter games. I mean, this is not like reaction time or, quick stick movements. It's more of
Yes,
a
brother.
strategy, right? So was that a conscious decision that you guys made designing this?
Yeah, so again, that's why I love coming on your show. You always ask the right questions, man. So yeah, when we did our original playtesting through Rocket Ride, again, they've been amazing in all aspects. And originally this was more of a first-person shooter iteration. And we realized that people were getting discouraged because almost too different blending those genres where a trading card game that has a whole mode where you have to be very articulate and fast reaction with headshots and aiming, that was a little bit too different, and so that didn't really work out the way that we had originally hoped, and so we pivoted to the rock paper scissors mechanic, that is still a lot more reminiscent of playing the cards, but gives you a whole different visual experience with that. So, and then utilizing this mechanism, things were able to flow way better and really feel like the same game and the same experience, even though it's two different modes.
Great. Okay, I'm going to jump ahead, but I want to just ask, I mean, how
Yeah.
much with your with the rocket ride, I mean, how much do you think it has helped you to have this testing and feedback and play? I mean, it sounds like you guys have gone through a few iterations. So this is not just some random game that you're going to be throwing out here in alpha, but it's kind of a well thought out, uh, whole system that's working together.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, that's the other bonus of having, a major studio working on this. They were the ones that introduced us to Rocket Ride, and they were so blown away by the concept and the game, that they got involved pretty much from day one. So again, we had like a pre-production phase, where we kind of had all of the ducks in a row. But then once we went to production, that's when it becomes a lot more fluid because we showed some alpha to these playtesters, and that's when we figured out, hey, this isn't going to work the way that we hope for. And I think again, a lot of games do that well. Again, I keep bringing up Splinterlands, but they, with their playtesters, they're doing this as well, more in real time. And that will be something that we do as well. So once a game releases, any of the future releases we do in terms of card balancing, or making sure that the meta is still fair, and that no cards are too overpowered. Obviously, there is power creep, no matter what you do, but we'll do our best to mitigate that. And so, once a game launches, we can transition into having the community, be the ones that say, hey, we want this different, or it would be great to have this feature, and really support those that are really helping us build the game from the ground up.
Wow, I feel like we could talk about this for a long time. I'm going to skip over other core features. I showed it on the screen for those that are watching. And let's get into
For sure.
game economics. This is what I love. I love this stuff. So let's,
Yeah,
okay. So, yeah, I'm here. I'm seeing immediately that this market is growing. I mean, and I would agree with that. I don't necessarily want to read this screen out, but do you just want to tell us, like, I mean, have you seen an increase? I mean, or since when have we seen the increase? I feel like Splinterlands and Axie are 7 or 8 years old. I mean, probably gaming has grown exponentially since that time. But I mean, even in Web 2, gaming is just continuously hitting new highs all the time. Everybody's a gamer nowadays. I mean, are you a gamer? Like, what's your experience, or like, why do you? You said that every gamer ever always wants to build their own game. So, kind of talk me through where your head's at when you're getting into like gaming industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I mean, I think it's important to delineate between, the gamer and the person that is, really passionate about a game and wanting to build it. But then the other side is that you actually have to run a successful business. So fortunately, we have both sides of that brain to work through here. And yeah, I mean, obviously, we play our own game. We're excited about it, but a lot of this also has to do with just solid economics because without a successful business, there is no game. And so we've done a really great job balancing that. Again, that's another reason why our team is really strong. Um, Julius is more of the creative side, and then I handle a lot more of the economic side. And that works. I mean, and as you can see, the opportunity is amazing. And again, it's hard to really go into uh what could be, but it is interesting to see. I mean, I'm a firm believer that with AI and crypto and everything that we're moving to as a society, there will be a lot more free time in the works, and that's why the only reason I don't game like I would like to is number one, I'm a full-time dad and have a family, but number two, I just don't have a lot of free time outside of crypto, and so as we have AI and you know even some of the more you know day-to-day jobs become automated, I think a lot of people will be going back to gaming and that again is a huge market, and even as it is, it's a huge market. I mean, what Grand Theft Auto sold, what like a billion copies of their game, and now they're spent another billion to develop the next one. So obviously that's the behemoth. And I'm not comparing us to that by any means, but Web3 has a very big chance of really getting a lot of that market share. And we've seen it. I mean, unfortunately, with the bear market and the interest in Web3 gaming really has been hard lately. But it usually happens with the alt cycles. So when we do start seeing, you know, Bitcoin dominance come down and alts start to run, at the very end of the cycle, we usually see Web3 go absolutely bananas. So I think we're still positioned really well for that. And, the other cool thing is that we're not relying on the success from the Web3 market because we're also heavily going after the Web2 market as well.
And I think this has been like the dream. I mean, you think about like Ready Player One. I mean, that's mainstream, right? This metaverse. And
Sure.
so, and in Ready Player One, and they don't even call them NFTs, but obviously his account has coins and it has items, and those are his. And so, I mean, it's like this gamer dream. And, I think about gaming a lot more than I actually do play games. It's something about adulthood, I think. But, like, you know, it's
Totally.
it's there's a huge potential, I think, even if we don't say the words NFTs, but like I think you're right. I'm onto this blockchain integration. I'm seeing this frog flashing me his bills. Um, but like a lot of games didn't get it right. I mean, they either failed first of all to be a successful company. I mean, and that is a challenge, of course, if that's not your skill set. But then also tending towards this pay to win. The biggest wallet always wins and gets all the rewards. That is just not very fun either. So whether it's missing out on the fun aspect or just mismanaging your company, I mean, I would say Splinterlands is one of the ones that's still around, still developing, and so I mean, we can really praise them for that. But I imagine more and more games are going to try to figure out these best practices, and it sounds like you guys are going to be really kind of ahead of the game, a new wave of well-managed companies with fun games allowing true ownership. Now, I want to touch here, what does the ownership mean? Let's say I do unlock my items that I've earned in game through the gameplay, or I purchase some emotes. True ownership means they're NFTs in my wallet. Does that mean that later I can sell them, or I could give them to my kids, or what does it mean to own it?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, this is something we're still really working out in terms of how the flow will go. But on the surface, everybody starts more from the Web 2 side, where you are able to unlock and grind, with a separate in-game currency, or even potentially combine cards to own, more higher level or more rare cards. But all that stays within the game. So if you want to leave, then you can, but you can't sell your assets or do anything or get any money back out of the game. You're simply playing the game for fun, and can still compete at high levels with grinding. But the other side is NFT. So we will have specific card packs. Again, a little similar to how Conclave Arcana just rolled out, where you can purchase different card packs. Some will be cards that are only available in game. and some will be card packs that are all NFTs. And so the NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, those are cards that you own, and you can take them with you. You can sell them. You can potentially even flip them for higher than what you paid for them. So this creates a whole secondary market, of which we will also have. So we'll have our own NFT marketplace where we get some of the fees actually buy and burn our GG token. Our main token is called Grim Gold, and that's another really cool economic help to that token. But yeah, so you will have the choice again, and we're also hoping that this acts as an onboarding mechanism as well, because if you come into the Web2 side and you get involved in the community and you play and you learn, hey, you could actually own your account and own the cards that you're playing with. Who wouldn't want to do that? Especially if these cards become very valuable down the road. And so we're able to onboard people into, learning about Web3 because there's an incentive to do that and own the cards that they're playing with.
This is really interesting, and I've moved on to the blockchain integration. You were kind of talking about this already. The ecosystem. There's this one thing I kind of wonder about. Like, there's this idea that the early cards are going to be worth more because they're unavailable. But then we also have this power creep, which always it never goes the other way. It always power creeps. So how do we? I mean,
Sure.
have you guys thought about that at all? Like, is there? I don't know if there's a solution to that. It just occurred to me, like I get the idea that the early cards are unavailable, so they're rarer, especially if the game is still popular, which would, be the goal of any company, that the game people still want to play the game. But how? I wonder how that would work. Maybe giving them special, powers like, or if you have this old card, it becomes a hat. It becomes cosmetic or something like that. I don't know. It's really interesting. You mentioned power creep, and that just always happens. It's hard to avoid a game design. Um, but I love
Yeah.
this idea. We didn't even get to Grim Gold. I don't even know what that is, but I know that it's going to be burned by the marketplace fees. So I love that. We're getting close to an hour here. I'm going to try to jump ahead. Okay, so which I didn't ask this yet, but which blockchain? I'm on a page that says why this blockchain. Tell us about the blockchain you've picked.
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually haven't officially announced. This is part of our pitch deck, so we're gonna refrain from showing you the final slide. But yeah, I mean the whole idea is that we actually are not we're not as handcuffed to a chain because of the way we're building the game, which is really cool. Meaning the actual game itself will not be fully on chain. Again, like I said earlier, Splinterlands is the absolute king of that. If you're looking for a fully decentralized on-chain game where literally every action is on-chain, nobody does it better than Splinterlands. But that comes with a lot of technical issues, a lot of manpower, a lot of server costs, like you mentioned earlier, Eco. So we're having a much simpler approach. Again, very similar to how Rooney works where no matter what blockchain we pick, and we may even have the ability to go cross chain as well, where it doesn't matter what chain you're on, if you own the particular NFT and stake it into the smart contract, then we're able to scan, the chain, verify that the wallet connected to your account is, the owner, and then that card appears in gameplay. So the cool part is eventually we hope to be multi-chain, and we're really looking for a blockchain that will help us grow and really get in front of the right people. So we're in talks with two foundations right now. Again, we're not able to disclose, but we're hoping to get some support from the chains themselves, primarily in the marketing of the game. And so that way, we can really scale into all this. But right now, GG is available with liquidity on Binance Smart Chain or BNB chain and Sonic. So we have many
Oh,
options for people today.
fantastic. Yeah, I know B&B Chain Classic, tried and true, but Sonic, that's really good. So you're already multi-chain, at least with the currency. So that's really cool. And I
Yeah.
definitely agree that kind of only putting certain things on the blockchain or on a blockchain makes a lot more sense in terms of technical things. Things that matter. Okay, so you know what? I think we're only going to get to page 17 here because we made an hour. We need to come
Yeah, we're
back.
running out of time.
Yeah, we need to
I
come
know,
back and
man. I
talk
know.
more about this. So it sounds like you're meeting with more than one foundation, which is the way to do it, man. You want them coming for you. It's that you got a very exciting idea. You've been working with, a studio. You've been working with other partners to really nail this down. I like what I'm seeing as a gamer and as a guy who knows a little something about tokenomics. I like what I'm hearing. What what's your call to action if somebody's listening to this? If there's upcoming announcements, are you guys doing any marketing? I'll share again the YouTube channel, so probably subscribe to the YouTube. What other call to actions do you have for us listeners in the audience?
Absolutely, Ego. So again, man, I really appreciate you having me on. We always have a great time. And it's really come full circle as you're my right hand man on all of our Splinterlands assets as well. Really, any gaming project you're involved in. So it's been really cool to bring this full circle. But yeah, in terms of call to action, obviously the token is now live. That is probably the first place to start. Because we did a pre-sale, a lot of people were not patient and have sold, which is fine. But that means that you have an amazing entry right now. There's only a 1 billion total supply on GG or Grim Gold. So it's really an amazing spot right now. The total market cap is only like 300,000 right now, which is more than what or less than what we actually spent on the game. So it's definitely undervalued. Again, not financial advice. But yeah, and really just to join our socials. I mean, the whole reason that we really wanted to come on today, and you so graciously let us, was to get the word out. I mean, we're building an incredible game, and still nobody seems to know about it. I mean, we have a great marketing team that's really been helping get the word out in traditional ways, but on the actual crypto side, we still need the eyeballs. So please join our Twitter, our Discord, and our Telegram. We also just released a little mini game text adventure on Telegram, so you can check that out. And yeah, man, we're doing a lot of amazing stuff. And our YouTube every week we do an AMA just like this with the team. So you're able to see first looks, all the alpha, all the new releases on our YouTube every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Fantastic. Okay, so follow the socials. Keep in touch on the Twitter. I didn't get the Twitter. Can you grab that? And I'll cover for you if you could grab the Twitter.
Yeah.
And
Yep, totally. Give me 1 second here.
and we definitely got to have you back on, especially if you manage to connect with one of these foundations. If one of these guys manages to win you onto their chain, we should have you back on and kind of keep going through it. I'm excited. We've got playable alpha. Okay, so we've got some underpriced tokens, which is kind of an interesting idea that you raised $700,000. You've been using those assets to develop the game, and it's moving forward. We see a lot of art, we see a lot of videos, and in fact, on your YouTube video, we have just a day ago in-game environment revealed, a new map in Honor versus Madness. So there's definitely content here to look at. I see some interviews, but that the market cap of the token would be less than what you raised is just kind of an interesting thing. So it could be an interesting opportunity
Totally.
Now, just one last thing. I saw something on the socials about the carnival. Is that something that I should be aware of? Is there
Yeah,
something I can win? Can I win something?
yeah, brother, I love it, right? We're here for the prizes. So yeah, 100%. Even though we did the pre-sale, and we knew this going in, that we were giving people an incentive to stake their GG. And actually, again, even with the selling pressure I mentioned earlier, we have like 41% of the entire GG supply already staked. So this token is just primed for liftoff. Again, I don't mean to sound shilly with that at all, but yeah, the whole cool part of this is you can stake your GG, and I'll post that link as well. It's Universe Madness forward slash. Actually, let me give you the actual URL here while I read it. But you go here, you can stake your GG for up to 1 month, all the way up to an entire year, and then you get what's called carnival tickets. So carnival tickets are very similar to if you again are familiar with Splinterlands, you'll know vouchers. They're a token that you can only get from staking your GG. And then that token, the tickets, just like when you were a kid at Chuck E. Cheese or the local fair, you can turn in these tickets for ultra rare cards. So the carnival shop will have item exclusives where you will not be able to get these cards on any other way but through the carnival shop itself. So that's a really cool incentive, and we reveal about once every other month. We reveal some of the cards that will be available in the carnival shop, and they're everything from executions to different outfits, and different taunts, and even some legendary characters. So again, make sure that you're earning both GG and tickets just by staking. And we do have a promo right now. If you're the largest staker uh, for the month, we measure it every week. You get an extra $100 bonus for the week. So there is some competition on the leaderboards as well.
Okay, I think I get it. It's a way to support the early adopters, and that's giving them access kind of for free. They're just printing these tickets to buy in game
Yeah.
items, cosmetics, taunts, so they'll be able to laugh at their opponents. I'm an early adopter.
Yes. Totally.
I love it. Okay, so it's a
Yeah.
way to make it fun for people to hang around and support the game, and not just like I held this token, but more like I'm earning NFTs by participating and kind of hanging out with this game in its development. That's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely, John. And yeah, we have a great community. We even have an ambassador program. Some of you might know Steve Raider 82. He's again a big time streamer and supporter of Splinterlands. He's one of our ambassadors, and we give some great prizes to those that are helping us spread the word. So again, just get involved. We'd love to hear from you. And we're really at the ground floor of all this. And I think once people really see the caliber at which we're building. Again, you mentioned that environmental design reveal. We just released that yesterday, and you get to see the detail that we're putting into just the map itself, let alone the character and the cards. So I think we're really set to do something special later this year.
Fantastic. Well, we're just slightly over an hour now, but I just want to thank you again, AJ. And as soon as we can, I want to have you back, whether it's to talk about one thing or another, or if it's the honor versus madness. I feel like I could easily do another hour just digging into how you guys went about this. It seems like a lot of time and effort and detail and love going into this game. So I just want to thank you so much. And we'll do another hour soon, brother. We'll do it soon.
All right, cheers, Alex. Thank you for everything, man. And yeah, we'd love to see you guys over in the socials. And we'll be back. Whether you like it or not, I'm gonna be a regular fixture on the podcast. So right on.
Like it or not, this has been Deep Web 3 Secrets. Until next time.